I mean, it's great. Credit to them. They're expending a lot of energy doing that, making things tough on the other team. But when you're able to just kind of throw different guys at other teams' number ones and number twos and make them really have to work for everything, it's tiring for us to be doing it, but it's more tiring on them to be trying to battle against it. So credit to them making everything tough. It wasn't just tough on Jokic to get open. It was tough on whoever was trying to pass to him too. We were pressuring. So credit to all those dudes. And then, I just have to make sure that they know I have their back, if they get beat on anything. And that's what kind of gives us the ability to pressure up.
Alex, you talked earlier this series about how you were excited to play the Nuggets because they were going to make you a better team. How do you feel like you guys are better today than you were in Game 1?
Yeah, I think just our mental fortitude, even tonight we came out and, they scored kind of 4 relatively easy baskets and we missed shots early. Even then, I think, halfway through the first, we're down 10 or 11. But the whole time, I'm trying to tell the guys it's a long game, and I think they knew that at that point. And I think we understand what we're capable of when we, play at our best. So just the ability to get to that level, that elite level of defense, moving the ball, shot making, offensive rebounding, the stuff that we do great. I think, we're figuring out how to get to that quickly and stay there for a long time.
Actually, you've mentioned this a bunch this year, but you've said, the versions of yourself, versions of this team, maybe like tonight, but when you play like tonight, you could be the best team in the world. I just wonder, from what you saw tonight, is this close to the vision you've had year-round, and I guess what does that take to sort of tap into in a Game 7? Yeah,
I mean, when we play how we did tonight, and it wasn't perfect, but we had, a large majority of the game where we were kind of in control as far as assignments, our physicality, our pressure on the ball, finishing possessions, getting out in transition, sharing the ball. That's the stuff. Like, we have so much talent on the team. When we do those things, that just kind of doubles down on how special we can be. And you see it with a couple games this postseason where we're winning games by large margins because we're just trying to be ruthless and get to that. And part of that in Game 7 is Mark did a good job of telling us, just like, you don't have to do anything special. You just have to be who you are. We won 60-something games for a reason. We're in the second round in Game 7 for a reason. We're a good team. Everybody on this team does whatever they do really well. Just do that. And I thought we did a good job of that tonight.
And so when Mark tells you that you're going to be defending Jokic as often as you are tonight, what do you think, and sort of what does that take to do that effectively?
It's a lot of hard work, obviously. He's a phenomenal player. His resume speaks for itself, but he's a difficult matchup because he just does so many different things to get others involved and to influence the game. So for me, it's just about competing. Like, there's nothing to save it for. It's Game 7, right? So you either are going to the next round or your summer started. So for me, it was just about being relentless with my energy, the effort to make it tough on him. And obviously the guys around me did a good job of helping and swarming that because I'm not doing that on my own. But just making stuff tough on him, understanding how the game was going to be called, understanding the flow of the game, where you could be physical, where you can't, and just trying to make him work for stuff.
This is for AC. Just how important has this process been of you obviously being embraced in Oklahoma City and the team culture, and them also allowing you to be the kind of player you are defensively?
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty fluid just because I'm allowed to just be myself. And, that's kind of where I thrive, is just allowed to go out there and play my game, which has got me to this point and is the reason that I think they made the trade for me last summer. Was they recognized the stuff that I was good at and the things that helped elevate the players around me and the team, and they encouraged me to do that. And obviously the guys on the team are great people, great teammates. It makes it really easy because they have a lot of belief and trust in me too.
Over to your right, AC. You kind of going off of that with the veteran leadership. When you think about your rookie season up until now, how do you feel like your voice has expanded as a player?
a lot of that is just learning and growing and observing stuff around me. You know, I've been fortunate enough to play with Hall of Famers, been coached by Hall of Famers. You know, the elite of the elite, mental, vocal, in between the lines of the game kind of stuff. And, you know, I've just been stealing stuff from other people and honing it and working on it. And now trying to pass it on to the rest of the guys, and I think that they've done a good job of that. You know, I think our communication level, our sense of urgency, our ability to dissect and move forward is a lot better than it was, I think, when I first got here. And that's the key, you know, is using that stuff that I've learned from other people and passing it on to the others and elevating the team.
This is a question just for both you guys. When Shea and Dub were in here, they said that both of them said, Dub said he didn't really sleep that much. He was excited to play. Shea said he was nervous before this game. Like, what did both of you feel before going into this Game 7, and how'd you get through that initial nerves in the first quarter?
Let me go first. You got it? Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, if you don't feel anything leading up to it, you're probably like a serial killer. You know, you need to be checked out. I was a little anxious, but not in a sense of winning or losing, but in a sense of like I was ready to play, and I was ready to get to the game. Like, there was nothing else to do. Like, we'd played each other 6 times. We knew what they were going to do. They knew what we were going to do. It's about going out there and competing and playing. So, no, I got a full 9.5 hours last night. I slept really good, woke up, watched some of the PGA Championship, and was just ready to get to the game and play because we had been off for 2 days.
Yeah, same here. I got my sleep last night. Also, it just kind of understood what's on the line, and there was a lot of excitement. I'd say a little bit of angst, just kind of the whole process of leading up to play. You know, it takes a while. You know, you get here 3.5, 4 hours before the game. So just kind of tried to do everything as I would for any other game, prep the same way, but also understand what's on the line. So like AC said earlier, not leave anything in the tank, you know, because there's no point in saving it for summer. So just tried to go out there, do everything I could, and leave it all out there. And, you know, I knew every other guy who touched the floor tonight was going to do the same. So I feel like I've played enough games now where I kind of know what to expect now, and a lot of the pregame jitters or whatever are kind of I'm like outgrowing them, I guess.
Both guys, all series long, everybody's been waiting for the Nuggets to wear down, and obviously they held it together pretty well. But could you sense at any point during this game, maybe the run at the end of the second quarter, when maybe you started to sense they were getting a little fatigued?
I wouldn't say until they pulled their guys. I wasn't really trying to sense that. I was more just kind of focused on, like, we can't let up even an ounce. You know, we just got to run through the finish line on this one.
Yeah, I mean, I think they are, you know, their leaders are elite competitors, so like the rest of the team follows, and they always have that mindset. And I just think talk about wearing out through the series, but I think that, you know, our pressure and our energy, you know, maybe not as much through the series, but through the games that we won was the difference. You know, the games that we ended up winning were games that we had, you know, high intensity, full throttle pressure, finishing possessions, physicality on defense, and I think we did a good job of that tonight.
Chet, as someone who's spent a lot of time guarding Jokic, I just want to get your perspective and evaluation of what AC was able to do this series and especially today.
Yeah, obviously extremely impressive. He's somebody who's kind of been through the ringer, and he's seen every type of player that there is out there, and you played against him in the playoffs before too, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he's been there. He's seen it. He knows what type of player Jokic is, and you know, he did a great job of kind of playing to his advantages. That's what he does. No matter who he's guarding, he knows what his advantages are, and then he kind of plays to that. So, you know, he was scrappy. He was using his speed and his pace to kind of keep Jokic kind of from feeling comfortable and knowing where he was and stuff. So credit to him. You know, he's a game changer. You know, without him, you know, the game looks completely different.
Chet, you have a chance to play meaningful basketball in your hometown. What would that moment be like for you?
Man, it's amazing. You know, growing up Minnesota was never in the playoffs, so I never really the atmosphere was never there in the city, so I'm sure it's insane right now, but it'll be great to be able to play. Anytime I go home and play, it's great to be able to play in front of friends, family, old coaches, old teammates. I never take it for granted, and it's definitely kind of full circle. I was just on NBA TV before this, and they asked me about it, and I told them my first game was supposed to be in Minnesota, but then I got hurt, so it kind of makes it feel all worth it, grinding back to it, and now we're here. So it's going to be a challenge. They're a good team, but we're looking forward to it.
Alex, lots been made that you're the old guy on the team, but not once but twice you went up there and punched it down. One time cocking it back two-handed. Was it the adrenaline of the crowd? Like, what was the necessity of getting there and throwing it down like that?
Left on those knees.
Yeah, no, I just saved those for the games that matter. I wasted a couple earlier in the year, and I had to remind myself, like game 45, 50, when I was getting a little tired. I was like, all right, we save them for when they matter.
And then, Chet, whenever you see Alex Caruso getting up there and doing that stuff, what does that do with the rest of the team when you see,
honestly,
the old man?
sometimes I get scared because there was a couple times in the season where he kind of blew a tire on the way up and kind of just shoots a layup without even leaving the ground. So, I'm always hoping for the best, and tonight we saw the best. So, credit to him.
Keep him
Chet, you introduced Shea as the MVP in the post-game interview. I know the league has sort of dragged its feet with announcing the award, but sort of how
they announced it.
They have not announced it. No. How gratifying maybe is it for him to have this sort of series against the other guy?
The type of guy that Shea is, he was more worried about winning the series and doing it with the team. He enjoys playing with us. We enjoy playing with him, and he's not somebody who really gets wrapped up in the stuff that's not about winning. The narratives and all that. If you go out there and do what you need to do to win the game, all that stuff, take care of yourself. And I can't speak for him or where his mind was at on that, but that's what I saw from him and how he approached things. So credit to him for really sticking in there with us and being about all the right things throughout this.
Anybody else?
It's been a while since you played in this kind of atmosphere. Well, how much fun is this when people start? It's one thing for your teammates to appreciate, but the fans appreciate the work you're doing on the floor.
Rocking.
Yeah, I love this place, man. They yell. I told people after Game 5 here, I think it's the loudest basketball arena I've ever been in. That moment after we hit the second three and then get the defensive rebound, go up 6, and Shea gets fouled, and then this place was like deafening how loud it was. And I think it's just a testament to how much the community cares. How much this city cares about basketball and this team. And I think it's reciprocated. Like we play with a ton of energy and excuse me. We play with a ton of energy and a ton of effort and leave it all out there. And I think that they're excited to do their part and cheer us on. And, that's the biggest thing I think in sports is like fans want to see effort. They want to see you play with energy. They want to see you play hard and compete. And I think that this team embodies that. And I think that that's easy to get behind. And they do a great job of supporting us. It's been a lot of fun to see in the playoffs. Yeah.
Shout out to our fans.
Shout out.